Joining us now is Navy JAG officer and former Pentagon official Don Brown. Don, welcome. Thanks for coming on today. Let's start first with the military exercises in South Korea. What does scaling back the exercises mean for our military readiness in the region?
Well, thank you for having me. I don't think these joint exercises with our South Korean allies, Operation Ulchi Freedom Shield, are conducted annually. And this year, the exercises were set from August 17th to the 27th. The president decided to cut them short on August 21st. So the exercises took place partially. But look, we regularly drill with the South Koreans all the time. They are our principal strategic partner in that part of the world, one of our principal geostrategic allies. We came in September of 1950 with that Incheon invasion, coming up the anniversary of that, and saved South Korea from communist domination. I don't think cutting the drill a few days short will mean one bit of difference. I think President Trump is pushing for another summit with Chairman Kim. You know, he had three in his first term in Singapore and Hanoi and DMZ, and I think he's pushing for another one. So I think he did that to try to, as a little bit of bait to get the chairman to cooperate, maybe.
That's a good point. How is North Korea responding to our scale back? Do they view it as a genuine step towards diplomacy, or do they view it as a sign of a potential weakness, do you think?
Well, North Korea in some ways is like the Iranians. They kind of like, for lack of a better phrase, sort of talk out of both ends of their mouth. The chairman's sister, Kim Yo Jung, who is his 38-year-old sister and one of his principal advisors, says she's not aware of the talks and that America is still too hostile toward them. But look, during the Biden years, the president argues with some truth that North Korea strengthened its nuclear capabilities and is demanding to be recognized as part of the nuclear family of nations, something we've resisted. And they also don't like our joint operations with South Korea. So, we're in a situation where President Trump, for what you may say about him, is the only American leader since the start of the Korean War who has had any type of credible contact with a North Korean leader, which is good for the United States and good for the West. But they're pushing hard for nukes. We're pushing back. They also fired 10 short-range missiles into the Sea of Japan after the president made this announcement. Again, a contradictory message, which we see very often from the Hermit Kingdom.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Listen, President Trump has said that he wants to speak with Kim Jong-un sometime later this year. What has Un said, if anything, about their potential meeting? Anything to look out for?
Well, the president is pushing to meet with Chairman Kim in China at the APEC summit. That's the the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Council, to be held in Shenzhen, China in November. Kim hasn't publicly responded to that. He will be there. His sister has said recently that the president and Chairman Kim have an excellent relationship, although she still complains that our actions are too hostile toward North Korea. So the chairman himself has said nothing. His sister has talked sort of, in a contradictory fashion. The president has said, though, that he talked to the chairman, to Kim, the dear leader, and that the dear leader, that is Chairman Kim, is open to making this happen. President usually doesn't make stuff up. If he had a conversation with him, I'm sure he did. And I think we can probably look to the two of them talking in China in November, if not before then.